Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being so patient. I'd like to call our meeting to order. Could we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Megan, will you call the roll?
Trustee Lautner.
Here.
Trustee Zara.
Here.
Trustee Council.
Here.
Trustee Sheehan.
Here.
Trustee Silva.
Here.
President DeCipio.
Here.
A quorum is present, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Next up is public participation of agenda-related items only. If anyone would care to address the board of agenda-related items. Anyone want to care to address the board? No? You okay? Okay, so we'll move on to consent agenda. Megan?
Thank you, Mr. President. The following items on this evening's consent agenda are as follows. A, approval of minutes. 1, Village Board meeting, August 23rd, 2022. 2, Village Board closed session, August 23rd, 2022. 3, Village Board work session, September 13th, 2022. 4, Village Board closed session, September 13th, 2022. B, action, accounts payable and payroll summary. Motion 1, to authorize the president and chairperson of the Finance Committee to sign the register for bills and authorize the treasurer and village clerk to sign checks in payment of operating bills and salaries as itemized in the check registers. And motion 2, to authorize the village treasurer and village clerk to sign checks in the payment of payroll and other bills that become due between this date and the next village board meeting, with subsequent approval of the payroll register and voucher register by the Board of Trustees at its next meeting.
Entertain a motion to approve consent agenda as presented.
So moved. Second.
Second. Motion second. Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner.
Yes.
Yes.
Trustee Zara, sorry. Trustee Council.
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan.
Yes.
Trustee Silva.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Next up on our agenda is the village manager's report. Julia?
Thank you, Mr. President. I just have a couple of activities I wanted to remind the board and the village president about. The first is regarding the Grange Park Fire Department open house. The open house is going to be taking place on Saturday, October 1st, right here at station number 1 at this address, and it will be taking place from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and there are lots of activities for families and children there. We did receive some information today. Are you okay, Dean, with me announcing this? Okay. We did receive some information today that it is our understanding that there may be the appearance of the Chicago fire engine ladder truck at this open house event. And as many of you know, the Chicago fire ladder truck used to be a LaGrange Park ladder truck. So it will be neat to see that truck make an appearance back in its hometown. Secondly, we have another activity coming up, this time hosted by our police department. So we have a burger bash taking place at Posto 31 Restaurant on October 8th. That will take place from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. This is a charitable event in partnership with Posto 31, Special Olympics, the Torch Run, and LaGrange Park Ace Hardware. So these activities are going to be great, not to miss. And with that, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia. Next up is Administration Committee. Trustee Council.
Thank you, Mr. President. My report is as follows. Vehicle sticker and dog license renewals are now available for purchase, and the deadline for renewal is October 31st. Residents are encouraged to renew their stickers and licenses online. Please visit the village's website for more information and call the Village Hall with any questions. Save the dates. The village's annual fall cleanup day will take place on Saturday, October 15. Eligible residents must purchase 5 refuse stickers from the village and place their items at the curb by 6 a.m. Visit the village's website for more information and a list of acceptable items. Thank you, Mr. President. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Council. Okay, moving on to Building and Zoning Committee, we have Trustee Zora.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to report the building department activities for August of 2022. 102 building permits were issued in August compared to 80 last August. 689 permits have been issued year-to-date compared to 713 in 2021. Estimated construction costs for the month were just over $1.5 million, about $400,000 higher than August of 2021. Permit fees collected were over $31,000, 50% more than August of 2021. 200 inspections were conducted this past August compared to 169 in 2021. 11 inspections were not approved. 1,210 inspections were conducted year-to-date compared to 1,314 last year. A great amount of work for new Andy's Custard was completed during the month with various inspections taking place. Footings and foundations were completed for the main structure, dumpster enclosure, drive-through canopies, and monument sign. Inspections were also conducted and approved for underground plumbing, electric, and floor pre-pours. The certificate of occupancy was approved and issued for Huntington Learning Center. The renovation permit for 618 North Ashland was issued, and demo of the front porch and side porch took place. The cottage demo at Plymouth Place has also been completed with all the cottages and their foundations removed. The first review of the architectural plans for completed and water main contractor began to work on the site. The new water service at Happier Now was installed and inspected. The parking lot project of the library also began during August. Staff met with the developer for the American Nuclear property to discuss engineering and zoning requirements. I have 2 items for discussion and action. The first one regards the final PUD plan and special use and amendment to pilot agreement for 315 North Grange Road, Plymouth Place, Inc. Plymouth Place, a non-for-profit retirement community, is undertaking a redevelopment project at 315 North LaGrange Road. A series of villa buildings are proposed to be built on the east side of the property, providing a total of 94 independent living units. Center for Healthy Living and associated parking, circulation, landscaping, lighting, stormwater management improvements. Due to the scale and complexity of the project, the village determined that the proposed changes to the existing planned PUD constitute a new application and must be submitted as a new PUD application. On February 22nd, 2022, the village board approved the PUD and special use by a vote of 6-0. Plymouth Place has since filed a final PUD, which contains in final form the information required for the preliminary plan per section 153.085D of the zoning code. The zoning administrator shall recommend approval of the final plan of the village board if it is substantial conformance with previously approved preliminary plan and all village regulations. Village staff, the village engineer, and village attorney reviewed the PUD plan and found that overall the plan conforms to the preliminary plan and meets all village regulations and requirements. The construction schedule was updated for the following project phases. Phase 2A, construction of 59 units, and Center for Health Living, August 22nd, 2022, December 2023. Phase 2B, renovation of common spaces in the existing building, January 2024 to June 2024. Phase 3, construction of 35 units to be determined late 2025 to early 2027. The village has an existing service fee in lieu of taxes agreement with Plymouth Place. The agreement states that if the PUD is amended to add additional buildings or residents at Plymouth Place, the annual service fee shall be increased by a sum to be agreed upon by the village and Plymouth Place to adjust for the additional costs of the village services necessitated by that addition, as a condition precedent to the village's approval of any amendment to the final PUD. While the final PUD was under review, the village and Plymouth Place negotiated an amendment to the existing payment in lieu of taxes pilot agreement. The agreement states that the annual service fee paid by Plymouth Place to the village will be held at the current amount, $187,316 for calendar years 2022 and 2023, since no living units will be added until the first 4 villa buildings are completed in late 2023 or early 2024. Beginning in 2024, the fee will increase by the same proportion as the increase in total real estate taxes levied by Cook County during the most recent current calendar year over the amount levied the previous calendar year. The fee will also increase to account for new apartments added when construction is completed. For the first 59 units and again for the final 35, this amendment has been signed with Plymouth Place as attached in our documents. Staff recommends the approval of the final PUD plan and special use for 315 North LaGrange Road and second amendment to the declaration of covenant to pay service fees in lieu of taxes. I'd like to make a motion to approve an ordinance granting approval of a final PUD and special use for 315 North LaGrange Road, Plymouth Place, Inc., and to authorize and direct the village president to sign the second amendment to declaration of covenant to pay service fees in lieu of taxes.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Discussion. Trustee Zora?
Thank you. I know staff has been working intently with Plymouth Place, and I think they have dotted all their I's and crossed all their T's, so I am in favor of approving this and moving forward.
Trustee Lautner?
Thank you, Mr. President. I wouldn't want to go forward without just making some comments about this. There's a lot of history with this. There's been a lot of work by all parties involved. There's some opinions that, boy, this is a great deal. There's other opinions that gee, this is way overcharged. Needless to say, I think all the individuals that have been involved in this have looked at this many different ways. And what's the fairest way to do this? What's the most appropriate way to charge comparing to other facilities within our village? And making those comparisons, taking a look at the costs that the village incurs as a result of this, the benefits of those, of course. And I think it's important to say that the people that have been involved in this have looked at this very, very thoroughly over the years as well as more recently. And I mean, as I've looked at it, and I certainly haven't been involved to the same extent that the people that negotiated the agreements have been, but I will say that I think this is a fair agreement. You can look at it a lot of different ways, but we are, I think, just ecstatic to have an organization of this magnitude within the village. I think the people that are housed and part of this are strong contributors to our village, and I think there's some little bit more difficult benefit to really determine when you think about that. But I think it's you know, this is a big deal, and I think the people that worked on this to come out with an agreement that is as fair as possible for the village, as fair as possible for Plymouth Place, I think can be comfortable. So I think it's important for everyone to reflect upon that. And I think the opportunity that as that organization has grown, as the units grow, we'll have an opportunity to go back to the table and to discuss the costs that are incurred as a part of that. And I think that's the fairest way to do that. So I did want to make some comments in that regard, because this is a very important agreement between Plymouth Place and the village. So with that, I will support this.
Thank you, Trustee Lautner. No other comments. I would like to make mention that we do have representation here from Plymouth Place. We have Beverly Carino, who's a financial controller, Katie Fries, the senior director, Brian Pertajcik, Spaceco Inc. engineer, Eric Harmon from AG Architecture, Nick Arriaga from Hitchcock Design, and Steve from Pepper Construction. I want to thank all of you for being here. I also want to thank our staff, Kathy Keating and Julia and Maggie and Chief and everyone involved on our side for being so professional and working through it and Hitchcock. I'm missing your point here, I'm sorry. Just go ahead.
I was just going to make mention, we have one member of the Plymouth Place Board here in the audience.
Oh, I'll get to Trustee Cedar. Okay. I'll get to Trustee Cedar. He's in the wings. But I want to thank all of you from Plymouth Place and the construction firm and everyone that is here. I was involved in the early process of it, and it's a quality organization, quality group. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. You're an important part of our community, a stellar part of our community. We're here to help serve. It's unfortunate. I mean, it's fortunate it's going to turn out the way that it's going to. It's unfortunate that we were pressed for time because of the vacations that were coming up. Half of Plymouth Place is in Ireland, having a good time while we're here. But please get back to Jay and everyone that we are very grateful and thankful for the way it went and all that you guys do to make everything work well, because we are a community and you guys are a part of our family. So thank you. Trustee Cedar, ex-Trustee Cedar, past Trustee Cedar is now on the board of Plymouth Place. You guys are so grateful. Oh my God, what a great addition to your board. He's a class act, wonderful man. Great for having you on there now. We've got representation too.
Thank you.
See?
And former zoning board chair.
The former zoning board chair. We can go on and on, but I got to get the meeting going, Trustee Cedar. But thank you, Trustee Cedar. Okay, seeing no other, any questions from the board? Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zara? Yes. Trustee Council?
Yes.
Yes.
Trustee Silva?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Wonderful. Again, thank you for taking time out to be here. If you want to stay, you can stay. If you want to go, you can get up and go now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Trustee Zora, you have one more
Yes,
item?
I have one more for discussion and action about our code consultants. For the month of August, Lakeside Consultants provided an invoice to the Village of the Grange Park for an amount of $168,099.87. This includes an amount of $166,979.87 for plan reviews and $1,120 for inspections. Included in the plan review service is a charge of $162,500 for the review of the architectural and construction-related plans for the new Plymouth Place project, the Arboretum Villas, and related wellness center addition to the main building. The village utilizes services provided by Lakeside Consultants for structural plan review and at times for additional building permit-related service. Their founder, Rick Dandon, has been assisting the village with these services for several years, previously as code consultant Rick Dandon, and more recently under the new business name Lakeside Consultants. In 2017, the village board approved an annual not to exceed amount of $92,012.50, up from $85,000 amount approved in 2016. The amount cost for these services from the company usually do not push up against these not to exceed amounts, except when we have review of much larger projects. For example, the following were the approximate payments for the last 3 years. 2019 was $27,000, 2020 was $39,000, 2021 was $57,000. Furthermore, based upon the village's code and fee structure, these plan review costs, although paid by the village, are actually a pass-through cost, whereby the permit applicant reimburses the village for these costs. In this particular case, the village already received payment of $162,500 on August 15, 2022 from Plymouth Place to cover this cost. This payment of this invoice is being brought to the board for approval as it exceeds both the village manager's approval authority and the not-to-exceed amount previously approved by the board. Staff obviously approves this. I would like to make a motion to approve payment of invoice for services, a motion to approve payment in the amount of $168,999.87 to Lakeside Consultants for August 2022 services.
Second.
A motion and a second. Discussion. Trustee Zora?
Thank you. I have no reason not to approve this. The Plymouth Place entity already paid for these services. It's just a pass-through and a formality that we have to pay this and have it approved by us.
Any other comments? Seeing none, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zara?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Silva?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Trustee Zora.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to Engineering and Capital Projects Committee. Trustee Lautner?
Thank you, Mr. President. This evening for the report from this area is Hancock Engineering continued to work on the lead water service replacement program. To encourage residents to participate in the survey, 2 $100 gift certificates from local restaurants will be given to 2 randomly selected residents who either completed the online survey or had an inspection performed. The winners will be announced in September. Appointments and inspections will continue through early fall. All municipalities are required to submit a final inventory of their lead water service to the Illinois EPA by April 15th, 2024. Project specifications and bid documents were approved by Idot for the 2022 MFT patching program. The project will be advertised in the Idot Bulletin with a bid opening date of September 6th. The project involves bituminous pavement patching on streets throughout the village that have structured defects or were dug up for water main repairs. And the third and last item is project specifications and a cost estimate were prepared for the 2022-2023 sewer lining project. A bid opening date of September 7th was set. The project involves lining sections of the sewer that are in poor condition before they are in need of complete replacement. About 1,300 feet of 12-inch diameter sewer is being considered for lining. 3 manholes will also be rehabilitated. And that completes the report from the Engineering and Capital Projects this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Lautner. Public Safety Committee, Trustee Silva.
Thank you, Mr. President. My police department, police department summary is as follows. The total number of crimes this year are 29% lower than last year at this time, with 224 reported this year compared to 300 last year. At this time last year, the PD was still inundated with COVID-19 unemployment-related scams. Traffic enforcement is at 1,864 total tickets issued through August of 2022. Overall police activity is 64% higher to last year, with 1,332 total incidents reported in the month of August 2022, compared to 683 incidents in August of 2022. Of those 1,332 total incidents, 78 were assists to the fire department, 484 were self-initiated building or park checks, 158 were traffic stops, and 22 were closed home checks. Officer Tim Burry attended train-the-trainer rapid deployment training hosted by the Illinois State Police. Officer Burry has submitted his syllabus to the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board for approval. Once approved, Officer Burry will be a certified instructor for rapid deployment and can perform this training to members of the department in-house. Department members took part in 151 hours of training throughout the month of August 2022. Staff members of the police department and village took part in the National Night Out Parade, which took place on Tuesday, August 2nd. Thanks to everyone that participated in this event. The department held the written examination portion of the police officer eligibility list. 10 applicants showed up to take the examination, with 7 passing. Next, the Board of Police Commissioners will interview them. 3 new digital speed signs were placed on LaGrange Road, 2 for northbound LaGrange Road and 1 on southbound LaGrange Road. On Saturday, October 29th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the lobby of LaGrange Park Village Hall, the police department, in coordination with the DEA, will be hosting a drug take-back event. Residents can discard expired prescription or over-the-counter medication by placing the pills into a baggie and disposing them into an approved container located in the lobby of the Village Hall. Reminder, no needles, pill bottles, or liquids would be accepted. Come out and support the police department in the Illinois Special Olympics at the Burger Bash on October 8th. All proceeds go to Illinois Special Olympics. Special thanks to Postal 31 and Ace Hardware for helping to support this event. Please follow the police department on our Facebook page at LaGrange Park Police Department, our Twitter account at LaGrange Park PD, and Instagram at LaGrange Park PD. A friendly reminder about securing one's personal property at all times. Please lock your vehicles and residences, especially during overnight hours. If you are going on vacation, please utilize the new online vacation watch portal, frontlinepss.com/LaGrange Park, or log onto the village website and access the portal under the police department page. If you do not have internet access, feel free to fill out a vacation watch card at the PD between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. Moving on to the fire department summary report. EMS incidents this month, 128. There have been 1,140 year-to-date compared to 1,153 year-to-date in 2021. Fire rescue incidents this month, 45. There have been 392 year-to-date compared to 347 year-to-date in 2021. The fire department participated in the National Night Out Parade. The personnel began evaluating self-contained breathing apparatus, hosting vendor presentations representing products, MSA safety, and dragger. Personnel participated in the Westmont Cruising Night Fire Department Vehicle Show with our rescue engine 1221. Firefighter Lily also brought our former 1972 engine 422 to the event. Patrick Shields and our own Maddie Orridge were hired to fill open positions on our PSI paramedic firefighter contract. We welcome them both and are happy to have them. 6 of paid on-call personnel hired this year began attending EMTB school during the month. Inspections were conducted for the fire alarm at the new Alphabet Learning Center, and a re-inspection was conducted for the final installation approval of Plaza 31 fire sprinklers and alarm. A final fire sprinkler inspection was also completed for the new home at 805 North Wyola. Staff also conducted a fire station tour for a new resident and her young child and attended several block parties. Personnel began the annual testing of all fire hose, which will take several weeks. The rear overhead doors were replaced at Fire Station 1 and look good. The metal exterior surface was delaminating from the core. Delivery and installation took nearly a year. Staff began providing EMS coverage for Nazareth varsity football games for the season. On Wednesday, August 10th, at 9:05 a.m., firefighters responded to a gas leak at the Homestead Apartments when a gas line was damaged by contractors. A building had to be evacuated and the electric shut off until the leak could be stopped and gas ventilated from the building. On Sunday, August 14th at 8:55, firefighters responded to another fire at the village brush pile. Units remained on the scene until 2 a.m. to complete the extinguishment, assisted by Public Works and their loader. On Wednesday, August 17th at 7:39 p.m., we assisted Lions and Fire investigator for a house fire. This concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Silva. Moving on to Public Works Committee, Trustee Sheehan.
Thank you, Mr. President. For the month of August, the staff repaired 3 water main breaks and completed 1 hydrant modification kit. DPW replaced a lead service line with 1-inch copper from the main to the meter with the cooperation of the resident participation. Brush pickup took place the first week in August, crews making at least 1 pass down each street in town. Staff participated with all village departments in the National Night Out Parade on Tuesday, August 2nd. 2 deteriorating catch basins were restored and rebuilt. Staff attended many training events this month, including flagger recertification, snow operation management, and emergency management response. Public Works assisted the PD with the installation of 3 new speed signs on LaGrange Road. Street and parkway restorations continued from previous utility excavations. GIS work has continued collecting data on village-owned assets along with continued training throughout the village. Water meters were read in Section 2. 15 monthly bacterial samples were taken. Various water and sewer work orders were completed along with resident tree concerns and general construction inquiries. Routine maintenance of the department fleet and equipment was performed as well as on police and fire vehicles. And a couple action items. First will be the 2022 MFT patching program contract award. Purpose staff is seeking board approval to award a contract to the lowest responsible bidder, M&J Paving Contractors, Inc., for the 2022 MFT patching program. Public Works staff has focused its inspection process on the east area of town. Most locations will receive a 2-inch grind and repave. A few identified locations will receive the full depth patch, including 4 inches of binder course and 2 inches of surface course. Patching streets prolong the existing pavements until a future resurfacing project. Hancock Engineer prepared the necessary bid specs for this project, and a bid opening was held on September 6th, with the lowest responsible bidder being M&J Asphalt Paving at $80,806.25. To capitalize on great unit pricing, staff recommends utilizing all available funds to patch additional areas. The village budgeted $100,000 in the MFT fund, street patching 270-761510. Staff recommends entering into a contract with M&J Asphalt Paving in a not to exceed amount of $100,000 at tonight's meeting. Therefore, Mr. President, at this time, make a motion to accept the bid proposal from M&J Asphalt in a not to exceed amount of $100,000, and 2, to authorize the village manager to execute the contract document.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion, Trustee Sheehan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, the street patching, we've come a long way since, 2016 with our roads, and I don't want to see them get behind again, and the patching is a no-brainer. M&J is a qualified contractor. They're doing 26th Street that should be starting here pretty soon. That east end of town does need attention, and it's getting it, so I support this 100%.
Thank you, trustee Sheehan. Any other comments from any board members? Seeing none, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zara? Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Silva?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan.
Okay. Next, we have the 2022-2023 sewer lining project contract award. Staff is seeking the board's approval to award a contract with Hoare Construction in the amount of $81,250 for the 2022-2023 sewer lining project. The sewer lining project is necessary to improve and rehabilitate portions of the combination sewer systems at various locations throughout the village of LaGrange Park. Inversion lining and all other appurtenant work to be completed under the defined project specifications. Work will begin and finished before the end of the fiscal year. The village advertised and had a bid opening on September 7th with 4 submittals. You see Hoare Construction, $81,250. National Power Rotting, $91,462.50. Visu Sewer, $96,283.75. And in Stiff Form Technologies for $118,595. This fiscal year, the village budgeted $100,000 in sewer fund, capital outlay 510-70-80510 for sewer lining. To capitalize on great unit pricing, staff recommends utilizing all available funds to line additional areas of need. Staff recommends approval of the contract with Hoare Construction for $100,000 at tonight's meeting. Make a motion to accept the bid from Hoare Construction in a not to exceed amount of $100,000 and to authorize the village manager to execute the contract document.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion, trustee Sheehan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Sewer lining's done every year. The price was very surprisingly low, so that's good. It's best to do routine maintenance on these rather than run the risk of having a complete failure. So I would, the trustee ready, did I pronounce the name of the company correctly?
I believe so.
Okay. Yep, so I would support this.
Any other comments from the board? Trustee Lautner?
Thank you, Mr. President. Just curious, we have a motion on the floor to approve in the amount of $100,000, not to exceed. I mean, we have a bid of $81,250, so what's the potential that that could be increased? I mean, I know you run into things that you can't necessarily foresee at the time, but is there some sort of limit on how much over the $81,250 it can go? Are we, approving up to 100 is what they can go up to?
Well, we're gonna approve up to the 100,000, which is what we have in our budget. But you can go, Kathy might be able to help me out here, but you can go up to 50% of a bid price. You can go over by 50%.
I think the point is they're accepting the bid from Howard, but they're authorizing Howard to do additional work.
Yes. That's right.
They're increasing the scope to take care of the fully budgeted amount. But it doesn't affect the lowest bid. That's still the lowest bidder.
Right. And so it cannot go over 100, right? So there's not a 50% increase over the.
Correct.
So that, so just understand, but have we used them before?
A couple of 2 or 3 years ago, I think they did.
I didn't recognize them, right?
And
Well,
there are short segments we can add in the amount, 10, 15,000 that would, that are segmented that would still be under 100,000.
that would still stay within budget. Fine, thank you.
Just one quick comment, just to summarize, we're taking advantage of the very positive pricing through this year's bidding process, this year's pricing, in order to increase the scope with additional areas of our sewer system being lined. So, we had it budgeted anyway. We will not exceed the $100,000 mark, but we're going to get more for than what we thought we would be able to, according to the engineer's original estimate.
Up to 100,000 worth.
That's correct.
Understand, thank you.
Any other comments from the board? Rick or Mark, any other comments, additional comments?
No,
Megan,
good.
call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zara?
Yes.
Trustee Council,
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan,
Yes.
Trustee Silva.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan.
Okay, lastly, Mr. President, the 2022-2023 tree trimming program contract award. Purpose is to approve a contract with Idot Tree Service with a one-year contract for the annual tree trimming program. The area of the village schedule for tree trimming this year is the section west of LaGrange Road to Stone and in the center section south of 31st Street, which has approximately 1,832 trees. The village advertised and had a bid opening on September 7th with 4 submittals received. Boundaries, base bid LaGrange Road to Stone, alternate bid center section south of 31st. Proposal submitted, Idot Tree, base bid was 1,024 trees, $60,672. Alternate 1 with an additional 808 trees, $47,874. Homer Tree Care, base bid $88,000, the alternate $69,500. In the fiscal year 2022-2023 budget, $125,000 is allocated in the Public Works Fund, tree maintenance $170,60500 for tree trimming. Public Works staff interviewed several communities that have used the service of Idot Tree Service, and all comments were positive. Staff recommends awarding a one-year contract with Idot Tree Service for a not-to-exceed amount of $110,000 at tonight's meeting. Therefore, I'll make a motion to approve a one-year contract between the Village of LaGrange Park and Idot Tree Service for 2022-2023 tree trimming program and a not-to-exceed amount of $110,000, and authorize the village manager to execute the necessary documents.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion. Trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, Mr. President. So we're all clear on this. Alternate 1, the center section south of 31st Street, that would be everything east of Stone to the IHB? Or is it, where's the additional 808 trees?
The center section would be between the IHB and LaGrange Road, south of 31st, everything south.
Right,
So the base bid would be from Stone to LaGrange Road.
basically what it's at, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, all together. Okay, yeah, you see their trucks all around, so obviously they do quality work. I wouldn't have any problem supporting this.
Thank you, Trustee Sheehan. Any other comments? Trustee Council?
So I just wanted to confirm that I was reading it correctly. Alternate 1 would be if they only trimmed 808 trees as opposed to the 1,024 trees, Rick?
No. The way that we had to do our bids the last few years, now that we have GIS, so we can actually count how many trees are in per section. So last year when we went out for bid, we were only able to do a very small section from Brainerd to Edgewood due to the high pricing that we had. So based upon having all that data now, we were able to put enough money in the budget to finish that section, which we call the west side. Usually we try to do a section every year, and we break the town up into 5 sections. But if we didn't get from Brainerd to LaGrange Road done and finish this second, we would be totally off by, a year or 2. So to get caught up to where we needed to be, we added that additional 808 trees, which is the center section, which is considered one of our areas for trimming.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry if it was a little confusing.
Any other
No, it was
comments?
good.
Okay, seeing none, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner? Oh,
I'm sorry, Trustee Lautner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a clarification question. Is this trimming exclusively? Are there any removal of dead trees? Is that included as a trimming?
This is strictly trimming only.
And parkway only trees?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
7-inch DBH and above.
Yes, 7-inch DBH and above. That's, if you look at the bid packet, everything that's shaded blue, that's 7 inches and above. That's what we would be included in the trimming cycle.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thanks, Rick.
Everybody good?
Yes, sir.
Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zara?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Silva?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan, and thank you, Trustee Sheehan. Okay, moving on, Finance Committee, Trustee Lautner.
Thank you, Mr. President. Financial update through August 31st, 2022. The village has completed 4 months now, or 33.7% of fiscal year 2023, which began May 1st and runs through April 30, 2023. The detailed revenue and expense report and the monthly cash and investment summary was included in our packet and attached to this memo here. Fiscal year to date, general fund revenue of $2.9 million is at 27.2% of the annual budget, and $783,500 or 37.4% greater than last year. Property tax receipts are down about $30,000 or 47.1% compared to the prior year. The delay in the Cook County property tax assessment review and appeal process due to a computer system conversion may result in second installment tax bills, which are normally issued by June 30 with payment due August 1st, not being issued until the fourth quarter. Finance will continue to monitor this matter and keep the board informed. And as a side note, I think I heard today that the commitment is around Christmas time with payments due by the end of the year. Other local taxes were higher by approximately $69.3 thousand or 26.2%. As a category, intergovernmental receipts were higher by $221,200 or 18.5% compared to last year. The primary components of the intergovernmental receipts and their performance are as follows. Income tax receipts for August were $8,300 or 8.2% higher than last year. Income tax receipts this year to date at $875,700 were $164,900 or 23.2% greater than last year. Sales tax receipts for August were $5,500 or 7.1% more than last year. Year-to-date receipts of $302,500 were $14,200 or 4.9% higher than for the comparable period in fiscal year 22. Use tax receipts have remained steady compared to last year with a total of $164,200 for fiscal year 23 or 3.1% higher than last year. And excise telecommunication tax receipts continue to decrease. Year-to-date receipts of $51,100 are slightly less than in fiscal year 2022. License revenues were total of $31,800 for the year and include approximately $18,200 in August from vehicle sticker sales. During August, the village received a payment of $168,500 for permits, inspections, and plan review in conjunction with the expansion project at Plymouth Place. It should be noted that the village uses a third party to perform many of these tasks, and as such will be paying out a like amount in the near future. Year to date, charges for services were lower by $7,200 or 2% versus the comparable period last year. And fine revenue was lower by $16,100 or 31.7% compared to the prior year. The pandemic has impacted court fine receipts, and the state comptroller has suspended its collection of past due amounts for those eligible based on reported income. Miscellaneous revenue was at $41,100, greater than last year due to combinations of funds raised as police contributions in support of the National Night Out celebration and interest earnings. And total general fund expenditures, excluding the transfer to the Capital Projects Fund, were at 27.7% of the annual budget and $209,200 or 8.4% higher than last year. But of most significance, all departments are within budget expectations. And that concludes my financial report this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Lautner. Okay, moving on to other reports. Our village clerk.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have an update on some important dates regarding the upcoming gubernatorial election. Tuesday, October 11th, all paper and PDF registrations must be postmarked by this date, and it's the last day to register in person. Sunday, October 23rd is the last day for voters to register online. If a voter misses these registration deadlines, they may still register to vote during the grace period or on election day. and that gubernatorial election is scheduled for November 8th, 2022. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. Commercial Revitalization Committee, Trustee Zora.
Thank you. The village hosted a public open house for the Village Market Streetscape Improvement Plan on September 7th at the LaGrange Park Public Library. This event included a series of informative and interactive engagement stations to give community members an opportunity to provide input on potential streetscape designs. The consultant team is now developing a draft plan on the information and data gathered during the community engagement activities and existing conditions analysis. As a reminder, all project documents and presentations are saved on the village's website. The LaGrange Park Chamber of Commerce is hosting a chili cook-off event on Thursday, September 29th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Memorial Park. Come out to sample local chili dishes, play bocce ball, and relax with friends and neighbors. Beer will also be available for purchase. And that is all I have to report. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Zora. Our village engineer?
No report, Mr. President.
Our village attorney?
No report, Mr. President.
Motion to approve committee and collectors' reports as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I have a couple items. Julia, myself, and Maggie attended the IML conference last weekend. We did come back, though, for Friday night's bash at the Hop District by our police department, and I gotta say, it was one of the most spectacular events. It was packed. It was friendly. It was just a great time. And Chief, good job.
Thank you.
Everybody, heard Julia that this weekend Chief Magus and his department are having a Firehouse open house. That's Saturday at 10 o'clock, I believe, correct? Hoping for good weather and great rides on the fire truck. Let's see, what else do we have? Okay, at the IML Friday night, we had a table full. I thought it was a great event, a great dinner. I have some pictures here that I'll pass around. The village was awarded the 2022 Green Intelligence Award during the West Central Municipal Conference annual dinner. The Green Intelligence Award recognizes leadership, creativity, and practicality relative to environmental challenges, approaches, and solutions. Many residents are aware that this last spring, the village constructed 3 green roadway intersections on Monroe to help address local flooding and drainage problems. The intersections were strategically selected in order to divert runoff from LaGrange Road and help alleviate flooding in low-lying areas. The road is now resurfaced and interlocking pavement bricks that allow water to infiltrate and enter the stone below. The village partnered with the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago to fund, design, and install the project. And this could not have happened, and we would have not have gotten this prestigious award were it not for our Public Works Director, Rick Ratty, for overseeing the project, and Hancock Engineering for its innovative design, and also to Maggie Jar for her creative writing and application submittal. So congratulations to the village and congratulations to you three. Thank you. And the last thing I have is a proclamation. Whereas the Village of LaGrange Park is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living and visiting our village. Whereas fire is a serious public safety concern both locally and nationally, and homes are the locations where people are at the greatest risk for fire. Whereas smoke alarms sense smoke well before you can, alerting you to danger in the event of fire in which you may have as little as 2 minutes to escape safely. Whereas residents are encouraged to ensure their homes are equipped with working smoke alarms, know the sounds and how to respond, and are reminded that smoke alarms can cut the risk of dying in reported home fires in half. Whereas the Village of LaGrange Park first responders are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fire injuries through prevention and protection education. And whereas the 2022 Fire Prevention Week theme, Fire Won't Wait, Plan Your Escape, effectively serves to remind residents it is important to have a home fire escape plan. Whereas LaGrange Park Fire Department is dedicated to promoting strong fire safety practices, such as providing fire safety education messages to all residents. Therefore, I proclaim the Village of LaGrange Park, October 9th through the 15th, 2022 as Fire Prevention Week, and October 2022 as Fire Prevention Month throughout our village. We remind all residents of this year's theme, Fire Won't Wait, Plan Your Escape, and urge all residents to review and practice their escape plan to be better prepared if a fire does occur. And I would just like to add an addendum to that, that we are most grateful for our fire department and Chief Magus for you being the chief there and the leader and for all that they do. I attended a dinner at the Firehouse about a month ago. Julia, we were there. And we have a great department. And please let them know that we're all very grateful for all of them and for them putting their lives on the line every day for our residents. Thank you. Okay, moving on. Public participation. Hank, you have anything? Okay. Any new business? Seeing none, motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Have a great week, everyone.